Stop and break it. You just set it up and you tie it.
You can also make one of those for school. Yeah, you could. Hold on, like that. Did you lose the eyes on that
I'll tell you a little secret about this.
coyote skin?
As long as you don't
Yep. The eyes are still in the coyote, the teeth are still in it. See the claws?
Is there white on it?
And they'll move around and they'll tolerate you. As long as you don't start
Maybe.
smashing them and beating on them and stuff, they'll leave you around.
I didn't even know. I guess I wasn't.
My Uncle Juan, he goes hunting all the time. He killed this bale. He let this shark skin it for him. He's on.
Do not touch.
He don't
Okay.
put it out.
I'm working on a hide here, and I've got a skull here. Do not touch. Okay. Now, one of you adult helpers can get you guys some parched corn, peas, and roasted pumpkin seeds. The Indians used that to eat. A handful of that and a couple pieces of jerky was a full day's meal. Okay? Yeah, you guys can come back over this way if you need to.
Hey, Rick.
Do you all want to try this? He said this is pumpkin seeds,
I'm not going to
corn,
do anything wrong.
and peas. You want to try it?
Yeah. Hey, they're gonna allow me.
I'll put a little bit in your hand.
Eat it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody want to try it?
I want to try
If you want to try it. If you don't want to try it, I'm not making you try it.
I'll try it. I want to try it. That feels good.
Are you trying it? Oh my gosh.
It's fine.
Now, if you guys will come over here, I'll talk to you about what I'm doing right now. So you guys can see. Come over here, guys.
That really is.
Yep, that's the skull from a bear. Right here's his face.
Frankie, you have a look.
There's his nose.
You're always perfect.
There's his ears.
Here, Frankie. No, this
Okay.
is.
Now,
Yellow jackets on the.
yep, they eat meat. They eat rotted meat. Okay. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm doing a process of tanning the hide. It's called brain tanning. This is how originally how these hides were tanned back then. This is how they make clothes before they got material from the Europeans. The bear hide and the deer hide was tanned the same way I'm doing here. This is actually called brain tanning. If you ever heard the term, you have enough brains to tan your own hide, this is where it comes from, because every animal has enough brains to tan its own hide. And what they do is they actually take and bust the skull open and take the brains out. They put it in a pot. So I've got a deer brain here, because I don't want to crush the skull brain. Deer skull up. It's just mushed up inside there. Okay? And what it is,
Well, you don't want to.
there's a chemical in the brain that actually reacts to the hide and actually does what's called tanning. That's okay. It's not going to hurt me. As long as I don't squish him. What we want to do, I'll show it to you in just a second. What you do is you flesh it, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking all this fat and meat and things like that off the hide. Once I get that off there, I'll take and stretch it. I'll poke holes along the hide. I'll make a big old huge square with some poles, and I'll stretch the hide, and I'll hold it real tight, and I'll take the brain, and I'll mush the brain up in my hand, and I'll rub it into the hide. And I'll take an axe or a tomahawk, and I scrape the hide, and I do that several times, about 8 to 10 times. And what that does is it pushes the chemical that's inside the brain into the hide, and it helps draw out a chemical called hide glue. Okay, you know how you got Elmer's glue? It made out of hooves. Well, they used to have hide glue back then. It was made out of hide. Okay, they take the hair and everything off, and they would boil the hides, and that would make the glue. Well, the glue is what makes the hides rot. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep it from rotting. After you do that, it becomes rawhide, and then you take and you break the leather, then you make it soft, and it turns soft like those right there, and that's what they make their hides out of. And this hide and those hides right there are actually being used to sleep on. Okay? So has anybody got any questions or anything?
Is that the head?
Yep, that's the skull.
Ew.
Yep. If I wasn't going to use the deer brain, I'd actually bust that open and take the brains out of it.
We better move over here, guys.
Alright, yep, you guys are going over there and listen to that.
Watch what you're doing.
You always scare them off.
Okay, listen up. Okay, listen up now. I've got the cannon charged. It's got a load in it. I put my wadding paper down in there to help hold that charge in. Now I've poked a hole in it already, like Jason did, but instead of using a primer, I use another smaller, finer black powder. So I'll put that on top of the touch hole. I light my lens stock. Then we yell, fire in the hole! Right in, John. We'll go to fire a couple times. Just a big fireball.
Hey, we call him.
Yeah, you can't get near the cannon when we fire it. Can you be able to hear it at your house? Probably not, but you can hear it a good ways away. How big's the fireball? When we videotaped mine, the fireball was about 30 feet and it came out about 15 from what we estimated. We've got a videotape and we slow motioned it and you can see a big fireball about that size.
What's the fireball made out of?
It's actually powder that comes out. Now, a couple weeks ago I fired when the air was real heavy at a gun shoot we had, and it produced a smoke ring and it just kept growing and growing. It was about 8 feet tall and stayed together for about almost a minute, minute and a half. Now that's really neat, but it's hard to do. As Jason can attest, it's 1 in a million shot to get it. He's probably better at it than I am. But okay, one last question and then we got to go. Oh yeah, it's all kinds of fun. Back here in the pit. Listen up. Okay. How far will the ball go? It depends on the cannon. Jason, how far would yours effective range be?
I can go anywhere from 25 yards with a half ounce of powder out to 1,200 yards with a half a pound.
1,200?
That's 12 football fields stacked end to end. I could set my mortar at one end and drop a ball on the other.
So his would shoot 12 football fields end to end. That's how long he could shoot if he wanted to lob a ball. He would typically lob it over stuff into a garrison or into an encampment, and it would explode into shrapnel and do a lot of damage.
If we had an enemy on the other side of this hill, I could post somebody up on top if there were no trees. They could kind of guide me where to shoot. I could throw a ball over that hill while still being protected from their cannon fire.
So that's a long ways, guys. Mine's effective to about 1/4 of a mile. And I'm usually bouncing. I shoot flat where he shoots an arc trajectory. So, guys, it's about time for you to go. I appreciate you coming. You've been a great group. And I'll definitely invite you back. So, thanks again.
Thank you.